But you have been taught by Karthik sir, isn't it? He must have taught you some of the examples related with program IO and interrupt IO. Okay. Today, I'm going to tell you about its timing diagram. Based on timing diagram, okay, you can see that how the effects are going to be. Okay.
Sir, you didn't start the recording.
Timing diagrams of your strobed input and strobed output. Okay. With this, lot of concepts will be clear. Okay. So look at the figure on top, which is your strobed input. Here you can, I think, able to read it. What is written here? STB, then IBF. Is it okay? It's visible. STB, then and it is STB bar. Then you have IBF. Okay. So try to recall that how the operation begins. Okay. How the operation begins. Then the answer is that whenever your peripheral is ready with the data, what it will do, it will send the strobe. Okay. So it is sending the strobe. So you can see here the strobe is being sent. And along with this strobe signal, what do you find that the data is also available. Okay. This is the data. And this data you are getting from where? You see here, it is written that input from peripheral. Okay. It means if I look at the diagram, then what I find that this is the peripheral. This is the peripheral. And this is your interfacing, peripheral interface 8255. So the data is going, okay, along with strobe, okay, along with strobe. So the strobe and data both goes there. They goes there only when they find that IBF is low. Okay, you can see here, this is low. Okay, and once the data is written on the port, so this is your port. Okay, when, so here I will also mention that when the peripheral finds that IBF is low, then what it does, it sends the strobe bar signal and the data also to the port. So the data is going, strobe is going, and once the data is written on the port, or I can say that once the data is arrived on the port, what happens that IBF goes automatically high. Okay, and when it goes automatically high, then what happens? What happens that you are going to get the generation of your INTR. Why? Because your strobe is high, your IBF is high, as well as your INTE, which you have made it internally as 1. So all the 3 are 1. So therefore INTR is generated. Now once the INTR is generated, then what happens that you expect the ISR, to be executed, okay, to be executed. And once ISR is being executed, what happens that naturally in the ISR you must have written in port, okay, because you are doing the input, okay, so you must have written in port. And when this in port, in this instruction is getting executed in port address, okay, when this instruction getting executed, the read signal is getting generated, okay, and that read will do what? This read will read the data which is available on the port 28085. 85 means from 8255 to 8085 it goes in response of read. Okay, now the data going from here to here. Okay, once the read is generated. Okay, and this happens because of your in instruction, and this instruction is where this instruction is written in your ISR. Once the ISR is executed, so definitely into that the import instruction must be written, and if it requires some more interrupts, then EI and then return. That will be mentioned in the ISR. Any confusion, any doubt here? Any doubt here? Yes, tell me. Also, I'll tell you that once you are into ISR, then what happens that interrupt will get the acknowledge automatically. Once it gets the acknowledge automatically, that INTR will go low. INTR will go low. Okay. Okay. Somebody should respond. Already I'm talking to a black box. Okay. So.
Yes, sir.
So at least somebody has to respond. Okay. Is it okay, or any question or any doubt?
Sir, I have a doubt. Could you show the slide?
Yes.
So if we are supposed to read the input in RD bar when it goes low, shouldn't the input from peripheral be also available at that time?
Peripheral is all the time available. Okay. But when this read goes up, okay, when the read is active, that time we are not having any relation with peripheral. We are having the relation only with 8255. So whatever is been done between 8255 and 8085. Because what you are writing, you are writing the port address of 8255, and on this port address, which peripheral is connected, that is known by the programmer only. Yes, tell me.
Sir, so first data is loaded from peripheral to 8255, and during the RD bar active time, the information is transferred from 8255 to 8085 without peripherals involvement.
See, I'll repeat once again. Data goes from peripheral to 8255, but this goes to 8255 only after having the confirmation of IBF. Okay. When it finds, peripheral finds that IBF is low, what it does, it generates the strobe, and along with the strobe, the data is also sent. Okay. Once it has been sent, then what happens, that IBF goes high. Means once the port receives the data from the peripheral, IBF goes high automatically. Okay. And once the IBF goes high, okay, you can see here, once the IBF goes high and your strobe also goes high, because the strobe is low for the period during which the data writing process is going on between peripheral and 8255. So during that period only it is low. Okay. And after that it goes high. Once this is high, IBF is high, INT is high, then what you are getting, INTR high. Okay. Once the INTR is high, it means now you are not going to attend the peripheral. Okay. You are going to talk with 8085 that I have got the data on my port. Please read. This information you are giving to 8085 over INTR. Okay. So once the INTR has been recognized by 8085, then what the 8085 does, it executes your ISR. What is there in the ISR? Definitely in the ISR, there will be the instruction written as import, EI and return. Okay, so once the input instruction gets executed, what you expect? You expect that the read will be generated. The read control will be generated from 8085 and it goes to where? It goes to 8255, not the peripheral. Okay, once it goes to 8255, then what happens that the data which is available with this port, because you are also giving the address. So that addressed port will be made enabled and that data will be made available on the data line of 8085. Okay, with that the data is been read out. Okay, or I can just show you here one of the blocks. Okay, one of the block in which you can write that from here the data goes from 8255 to 8085. Okay, during this time. Still you have confusion or clear?
Clear, sir.
Okay, now we are going for the reverse of it. Reverse means the strobed output. Strobed output means we are going to write the data, okay, on the port for peripheral device. Okay, for peripheral device to read it. Okay, that is the process we are going to start with. Now question is how it is going to be started. So definitely your process here will begin with what? With data writing, but the data writing will be done when? Only when the buffer is free, the output buffer is free, then only the data has to be written. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So what I am saying you that in this case, when we find that OBF is high, okay, acknowledge is high, this is also high, okay, because it's a active low, okay, is high. Once those two are high, then only INTR, okay, then only what? The INTR will be generated. Yes, isn't it? So you can see here that INTR is high, okay, INTR is high, and it is been shown high before this because these acknowledge and OBF has become high earlier. Are you getting it? Has become high earlier itself. Okay, so that is why with INTR, what you find? You find ISR. With INTR, what you find? ISR. And with the ISR, what you find? Write. And with that write, what you are finding? The write is going to be given this time. Okay, the write is being generated because here this period we assume that our processor takes the time to arrive at ISR. Once it arrives at ISR, there what it will do? It will execute the instruction output. Once this instruction is executed, then we find that the write signal is generated. Okay, with that write control, what you are finding? You are finding that the data which is available on D0 to D7 goes to port. This is that. Okay, this is that scenario. Okay, so it goes to port, and the port, once it has been written, okay, with the data, what is going to happen? That you will be getting your output buffer is full. What you will get? Your output buffer is full. So this is the indication of output buffer full. Once the output buffer is full, what is going to happen? What is going to happen? This output buffer full indicates the peripheral. Okay, from here the peripheral comes into the picture. Okay, the peripheral comes into the picture. The peripheral will be indicated that there is a data available on port. So if you are free, okay, if you are free, then read that data. Okay, so what is happening here, that once the peripheral reads the data, okay, then what it does, it generates the acknowledge. Okay, peripheral, you see here, there is a certain time gap. Okay, and with this time gap, the peripheral does what? It reads, it initiates for the reading of the data. And once it completes the reading of the data, what happens that the OBF again goes high. You can see here. Once it initiates and completes the reading of the data, okay, then OBF goes high. And this OBF goes high. And also you can see that this acknowledge is because once the data transferring is over, definitely acknowledge also becomes high. Okay, and once this is high, you can expect the next INTR. The next INTR is generated, and that is this. Here it is 1. So you see, when it becomes 1, only when your acknowledge is high, OBF is high, okay, then only your INTR becomes high. And once it is high, then again you are here that the right signal. Okay, the right signal. And this part is actually doing what? The port sending data to peripheral. During this time, the port data is being sent to the peripheral. Is it okay? Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
The complete process. So why I have explained this? The reason behind that, we have two kind of technique to read this data. One was programmed IO, another was interrupt IO. In case of interrupt IO, you need not to be worried about this timing. Okay. But in case of programmed IO, you have to know this timing diagram. Then only you can perform your data transferring properly. Okay, and that is the reason that why I'm saying that you have to check that OBF. You have to check the IBF. Okay, so for your information, I'll tell you that you need not to go for checking of the acknowledge, or you need not to go for checking of the stroke. Only you need to check IBF and OBF. IBF in case of inputting, OBF in case of outputting. So outputting you will do only when OBF is high. Okay, when OBF is high, then only you will write the data on the port. IBF, you will be reading the data only when IBF is high, then only you will be reading the data. Okay, and this IBF and OBF information you get through your status word. Okay, that you are working with which port, based on that port ID, you will be getting the information about the port C pin of the status word for IBF and OBF. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I think this mode 1, you people must have understood, isn't it?
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, why is that acknowledge has become low in the middle portion?
Acknowledge becomes low in the middle portion. Acknowledge will be given by whom? Who generates the acknowledge signal? That you tell me.
8255.
8255.
So peripheral generates it and 8255 receives it.
Generates it.
Peripheral
Okay. Peripheral generates it. Now question is, when peripheral will generate? Demands. When peripheral will generate the acknowledge? Tell me.
So when peripheral successfully receives data from
Yes.
8255.
After receiving data.
After receiving the data. So what is going to come first, the data or the acknowledge?
Data.
Data. So once the data has been received, then only acknowledge has to be generated, or before that?
Yes, about.
So you got it, your answer?
Yes.
Anything more to anyone? Okay, for now, for your information, I'll tell you that this mode 1 input and mode 1 output, when you merge together, okay, when you merge together, what you are going to get, the mode 2, okay, what you are going to get, the mode 2, okay, okay. And you please see here one of the peripheral interfacing, okay. What you are having 8255, and with that 8255, what you are finding? You are finding that you have got a printer, okay. You are connecting a printer, but the printer has got a driver. You see here, the control logic and driver. Printer has got this, and this driver actually does what? It is actually communicating with your 8255. Means, what is our idea? Our idea is to print data with the use of a printer, okay. So in this case, what you are finding that for printing of the data, you are sending 16 bits of data, 8 bit and then 8 bit. You just see here, port A and port B, both are being utilized for sending of the data, okay, sending of the data. So 16 bit is been required by this type of printer, okay. Okay. Now, what you are finding, the other part is your handshake, okay, the handshakes. What is the handshake? The data ready acknowledge, the data ready acknowledge. So you can see that data ready is nothing but what? OBF, okay, OBF, output buffer full. Here data ready is what? Output buffer full. So PC1 is telling you output buffer full, and what the driver understands that data is ready to be read from the port. So it attempts the reading, and with its attempt, what it sends, the acknowledge that I have read the data. Then again, what the 8255 will do, it will tell the processor that now my ports are free. You can attempt to write the next data. Clear? And you can see here interrupt request. Interrupt request. Okay. So this diagram tells you about the interfacings of peripheral and peripheral interface chip role into this connection. Yes, you are getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I will see where I am. what I wanted to tell you, the next thing is that mode 2. Okay. So I didn't find that figure. Okay, so it's better I'll explain you. Okay. So what I am saying you that mode 2 is known as what? Bidirectional input output. So the bidirectional means what? You will be having the data in both the direction. Okay. And that happens to only one of the port, and that is known as port A. Okay. In previous to this mode, I was showing you only one of the direction on the port, but right now I am showing you both the direction. Now my question to you, one thing, that is it you are finding both the data together or one data and then next type of data? Have you understood? At any instant of time, suppose T1, if you look at the port, what do you find? The data is meant for input as well as for output at the same time or at different time?
So it has to be at different times.
Different time. So this mode of communication is known as what? You know, there are different modes of communication. Have you heard of that? Have you heard of this name?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Simplex, duplex, and half duplex.
So which mode is it is?
Half duplex.
Half duplex, sir.
It is half duplex. So it's a very clear example of your half duplex. Okay. Okay. So please remember that. Now my question next to you, that what do you expect in the other side as peripheral? 8255. Which type of peripheral you feel that will be requiring this kind of communication? Input also as well as output also. This, can you think of that?
So like a hard disk or a pen drive.
Like a hard disk or pen drive. Okay, but do you feel that your hard disk and pen drive is in a position to do this kind of handshaking?
Touch screen. Touch screen.
Screen. Display screen, you are saying?
Yes, sir. Touch display screen.
So with that display screen, how you expect that inputting? Display screen is all the time, it is output type only. It's
So
output.
if you have a touch screen, then it will be input and output.
Touch screen.
Touch screen.
Screen is always output type of device, nah? This hard disk and floppy disk or CD-ROM, one can think of the device which is having both kind of communication. That is correct, hard disk. Okay, that is correct. But now the question is getting arise that this hard disk can communicate directly with 8255? Or hard disk will be having such type of control, the handshake? My answer to you people is not. Okay. What is the answer? The answer is this. The other side also, we expect that the 8085 as, or I can say that the 80851 and 80852 wants to communicate, okay, wants to communicate, then we will be going for the mode 2. And they may be communicating with the data available with their memory. So in that time, you will find that what the answer you have given hard is, that is getting fitted here. Are you getting it? You have some data here, okay, which is attached with 8085 memory, and but this data you want here, then what is to be done? That it has to check with this 8255 whether I can read some data or not, okay, and if 8085 allows you to read that, then this data will be made available for the reading, because it is all due to the permission, okay. If it permits, then it can do. If it permits, then it can do, okay. The only difficulty what you are going to have here, that their clock, please remember, their clock frequency. So all the time you please mind that their clock frequency has to be same, then only we can also able to have this kind of communication. Otherwise, what is going to happen? We will be coming across a very big problem, and which is called the bus congestion. What is the problem? The bus congestion. The bus congestion means what you are having here: IBF, OBF, strobe, and acknowledge. The same thing you are also having here: the OBF, IBF, acknowledge, and strobe. And their connection you will find is happening like this. The OBF, okay, its IBF will be telling the OBF, okay, the data is available, okay, the data is available, so its port will be full, and here IBF will be telling this, and strobe is nothing but given by the acknowledge, and this acknowledge is given by the strobe. So you find that they are cross. But what I am saying, the bus congestion, in case of bus congestion means due to the different clock period, a moment may arise where this 82551 and this 82552 both may try for inputting at the same time. Both may try inputting at the same time or outputting at the same time. Or due to the time mismatch, one may be trying for input, okay, but in the midway, another starts with the output. So these situations are getting arised. Please call me up. Okay. Okay. Get admitted. Huh? No, is it having any written? So please scan and send me over the mail, okay? And I'll talk to you after 10 minutes, okay? So are you getting what I am saying you? That both may try the same operation. And when they try for the same operation, what is happening that this will wait for the what? OBF to arrive. This will wait for the OBF to arrive. This may wait for the strobe to arrive, and this may wait for the strobe to arrive. And that situation is never going to arrive. And when it is not going to be arise, then what you will also find as a programmer that the bus is busy with some other work. But exactly it is not busy. It is happening because of the mismatch of the clock period. Am I clear with my explanation about this mode 2?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So you can understand with this example that how this bidirectional is being utilized and how this bidirectional signals are being generated by other device. And if that is being generated by other device, then only you can have the possibility of having this kind of mode, otherwise not. Okay. And if you want to see the timing diagram, then please recall the timing diagram of the mode 1, okay, of the mode 1 and mode 2, okay. So see here mode 2. I'll just enlarge. See the timing diagram of mode 2. It will give you more clear picture about that. Okay. So here, what you find here in this timing diagram, please follow this. Okay, I will. Is it better or that one was better? Is it visible?
That one was better.
Yes. Which is better?
Sir, the Indian is better.
The previous one. That is what you are saying, no? Previous one?
Yes, sir. Try to zoom in.
Okay. So see here. First of all, mind the signals here. What are the signals? The write. Okay. I'll change the color. Write, OBF, INTR, acknowledge, strobe, and then IBF. Okay. And
sir, this is taking the first one as reference, right?
see, it is left to you. Okay. What we are, you have to assume something now. With that only you can start your process explanation or not.
Yes, sir.
So that is what is been assumed here, that I am going to begin with write. Okay. Why write? Because I have OBF, I have acknowledge high. Okay. I have OBF and acknowledge high. That is why INTR. Okay. That is why INTR. Getting it? And with INTR, what is there? That the writing of the word. Okay. The writing of the word. Are you getting it? Once the word is written, then what you are getting? You are getting OBF. Okay. Once you get OBF, then that OBF is pointing where? Is pointing where?
Sir, strobe.
OBF means the data has been written on the port, the next 8255.
Yes,
okay?
Sir.
So this OBF is going where?
Sir,
I have just shown you on the IBF, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So this is going where? To the IBF. Okay. Okay. And you will be remembering that this acknowledge and strobe also I have mentioned. The acknowledge and strobe also I have mentioned. Okay. So here with this strobe also you get, and this IBF. Once this IBF is high, strobe is high, then what do you expect? You expect once again the interrupt. What you expect? Once again the interrupt. See here, once again the interrupt. And with this interrupt, With this interrupt, what you expect? You expect what? The reading of the data, isn't it? The reading of the data by the other device. And what is this diagram is telling you? This diagram is telling you with only one of the device. Okay, not with both the device. So the read signal here, you can just find out that it is appearing at the bottom. Okay, it is appearing at the bottom, and I'll just show you. See, you please mind these all things also. It is also very important. Data from peripheral to 8255. Here you see data from 8255 to 8085. Here data from 8255 to peripheral. Okay. So here we have two peripheral buses. One at, you can say one, the peripheral number 1, another with peripheral number 2. Okay, and with the read, what you expect? You expect that once again your IBF will go low. As long as your IBF is high, okay, as long as your INTR is high, you can expect your read, okay, and with that read, when the read is completed, your IBF goes low, okay, it goes low. Are you finding it here or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You see what I have done here? I have done here is as that the other 8085. This I have done it for the other 8085, because in the other, what you expect? You expect that the next write cycle, because the first 8085, if it performs write, the other will perform read. When this second completes the read, it might be going for the write. Okay, then this, the first one will come to the read. Okay, if you rotate the timing, you can find out that how this process is being carried out by two processor and two 8255. It's basically the merger of your mode 1 input handshake as well as output handshake. You please give your time and try to understand. Then if you find any problem, then ask me. Okay.
Okay, sir.
What I have written, merging of input and output of port A control. Okay. That is why you are finding these all. Getting it? Here, input and output bidirectional. You see here, see the diagram here. And one more interesting thing which is also required. See here that when you were going with that mode 1 and mode 2, you must have found that your INT A, okay, is having the pin number PC6. Okay, PC6 when it is in output mode, and when it is in input mode, that time PC2. Okay, PC2 was INT. But when you enter into the mode 2, then what about these two? Then answer is that you have to make both of them as enabled. And that is the reason that it is been made both enabled and made as parallel, and INTR is being generated. Okay, INTR is being generated. And what I have written here, input output, output input, input output, output input. Okay, during T1 you might be getting INTR, during T2 also you might be getting INTR. Is it okay? When you come to the next class, please go through it. Okay, please go through it and have the discussion if you have the confusion. Okay, if you have the confusion. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
what is my plan? That in the next class, I will start with peripherals. Okay, I will start with peripheral. But for your information, I'll tell you that right now the peripheral I'm not going to take as printer or any other such type of device, but I'm going to take a peripheral as ADC and DAC. And for your information, I'll tell you that DAC doesn't require any control, any handshakes. Okay, no handshake needed for DAC, but for ADC, handshakes are needed. Okay, so basically this ADC you can able to program either in mode 0 or in mode 1, and this DAC you will be programming in only mode 0. Okay, so first of all I'll explain about this ADC and DAC, and after that their interfacings with 8255, and with that I will complete this. Okay, ADC and DAC you people have studied earlier? Yes, tell me. Have you studied ADC? Analog to digital converter?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And DAC also you have studied, isn't it? You must be remembering that what are the different types of ADC and what are the different types of DAC. Yes or no? Any more detail you want to have about the ADC, that how this ADC has been made? You know the inside story of ADC. Anyway, in the next class I will take up. Okay, and try to revise that also. Okay, so that you can have a cross. Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. We can now leave the class. You have got the other